What's up, you guys? A couple of things I forgot to touch on with Matty, so I'm going to cover over all of that here. A few players, obviously. I want to touch on the points differential between certain ranks as well. So we'll go through that, just going through the private group. We've got a few players there, a little bit of chat around Brandon Smith and potentially how that could affect Connor Watson, a little bit about Talon De Silva and his stats in the New South Wales Cup, and they have some terrific eyebrows, my goodness. And then we go into the comments as well to round out this video. But let's kick it off with the points differential, because I found it very, very interesting there. So if you look at myself, I'm at 11,389, right? We did a little bit of a comparison to first to 50th overall and how much of a difference I was between 50th and 100th, which I thought was pretty cool. But let's look from 1,300 down to 1,000. So if you're looking up here, guys, where Matt Cosgrove is there, 1,005 his overall rank is, and that is only a very, very small amount behind me, in front of me, sorry, at 38 points. So that can be made up in 2 seconds, right? We know that that can change drastically there. So 11,389. So let's go 100 points in front of me, or just under 100 points at 88 points, is more than halving my rank into 662. So there's plenty of things you can do in this situation to move up the leaderboard there. And a shout out to Max, who is usually in one of the teams that I go through in this video, and he hasn't sent in a couple of weeks, but hasn't needed to. He's absolutely crushing it there with an 859 last week, 465th overall. So congrats to him on that one there. But that's Les there, who's less than 100 points ahead of me. You go to 100 points out, and that's about a 630, 640 ranking there. So it won't take very long to go up, but it also might not take very long to go down as well. So we've seen some big, big moves in the lower rankings, sort of, Scoop doing 18,000 down to like 10, 11,000. I think I did that massive move, something like 11,000, something in my head-to-head side this week as well. So if we go from where I am at 1330 and 11,389, let's go down 100 ranks. All right, so pretty well 100 ranks here. Let's go to Jake there, who I got to hang out with at Magic Round. He's at 2540, so almost 100 points again. Ends up being doubling my rank on the other side. So 100 points is a lot, isn't a lot in this game. 50 to 100, you're making bulk rankings there. Let's go back another 100. So 11,287 to 11,187. We don't have anyone on that, so we go to 11,191, and that again is almost a double in ranking. So 4,241, which it would be a little bit higher if we went back down a couple of points. So yeah, that's plenty of movement, and really something you can make up on a week-to-week basis. And you see here, Sam got 905 and would have made a ridiculous amount of ranks this week. Unfortunately, my brother went a 681. I'm not sure how involved he was with his trades last week. I'll have to give him a kick up the butt to sort out those trades. But thank goodness for him. He ended up captaining Adam Fanor-Blake for a lovely 69. Nice. But yeah, so he went down massively with a 681. So it shows the moves that you can make between rankings, and there you go. So Jaden's at 4,116, and Isha's at 4,523. She had a 763, which was fine without being spectacular there. So I just wanted to focus on that. I thought it was a pretty cool thing to look at. All right, so we mentioned a lot of these guys in the who's hot, who's not list, so just didn't go into depth on a few of them. So I want to jump in and speak about Connor Watson there at 780k. But before we do that, let's have a look at the Brandon Smith situation there. So the big news with him, guys, was the fact that if you read ahead there, he missed a team review week. So he thought it was the day after their game, round 13. He wasn't happy with his round 13 game. He thought, they always have a day off after they play. In this case, it was a review the next day, and I think they were going to do that review while they're in it and then have that break after that. But he didn't know that. He apparently doesn't talk to his missus if he carries his phone when they go to a cafe. So he left his phone at home, and that's why he ended up missing it completely and not getting any of his messages and stuff like that. So he was worried about losing his contract, which is pretty big. But anyway, he thought and hoped that he would be playing this weekend, and he's not. He's been dropped. So not sure how long that's going to be. If it's to do with, he was obviously very unhappy with his form in round 13 as well. So with Watson back, is he just going to stick in that number 9 jersey? Is he going to be moving towards the 13 jersey if Smith comes back, mixing between minutes in both? Is he going to get 80 minutes at 9, or is Sandon Smith going to play some time? There are a fair few questions. He obviously has a chance to play Origin as well. So with those things in mind, it might be hard to pick him up at this price point at 780 because you need him to score really, really well. But we know that he can, right? The last few games he's played, he's gone 75, 91, 56, and 61, all in close to 80 minutes on the park. But we know that he can be absolutely damaging. And the thing there you're looking at, those last two games, 56 and 61, are very close to where he's priced at right now. So I think you can wait the week and find out if he's going to be in that Origin situation, if Smith's going to come back. There's a lot of things you can wait for before you make that decision. And that might be something that I'm going to do because he won't be getting dual position anytime soon. And yeah, you'd want him in that hooker position for next week, and he's just not going to have that. So that's probably where I'm at with Watson. Wishart there at 503k. I just wanted to have a look at him because he's obviously got a clear negative break even there at negative 13, which is, yeah, really, really solid. Obviously, at that, he's going to go up plenty more cash. And the last few weeks have been awesome for him. He's gone 65, 45, 39, and 86. And if he was to average 45 from here on out, which is his second lowest score out of those four, out of the 5 games he's played halfback or 5/8, that is his second lowest score there. He's gone 65, 66, and 86 in the 3 other games. So I think 45 is pretty fair for what you're going to get out of him. And if that's the case, you are getting 1, 2, 3, 4 more games out of him before that buy in round 19. He might play 20, but let's just say it's the 4 games there. He's at least got 100, 120, 130, 140k in him if he does score at that 45. But if he happens to score anything above that, you could make upwards of 170, 180k, get closer to the 700k mark in that next 4 weeks, which is pretty crazy. But that's, going up 70 or 80k this week with a nice 50 odd, and then 40k, something like that over the next few weeks gets him up to that 180 or so. So that could definitely happen. He covers half and wing fullback for next week. So have a look at that. He's obviously getting owned by a decent amount now, 32%, almost across the board. Top 5,000, 33 in the 1,000 and 32 in the 100. Definitely someone to look at, and is scoring really well and looks great out there. He comes up against the Warriors, into Dolphins, Canberra, and Tigers. So it's a really nice run as well. I can't see him going under a 40 average across that time, which would be his worst case scenario. So that's Wishart at this point of the season. Davvy Moale, I had to mention here, he's the cheap mid that you can go for. If you don't want to go up a little bit higher to Samuel Afinu, who I think is a really good purchase of 500k, and you want to go for Davvy Moale, who does miss 17, so maybe that's where you just pay up the 100k for Samuela. That's for sure. He's gone a couple of big scores in a row. With Davvy, he had that one game where he unfortunately got 12 minutes and got the 10 points, but the 4 games outside of that, he's gone 42. We'll even count round 6 as well, 37 in 45 minutes, but he's gone 42, 43, 41, and 58, all in decent minutes there. A 38 minute was his low, 55 was the high, with a 42 and a 48 there. We see that he can definitely do good things, and at that case, priced at 30, he should have at least 10 points of value, which would be great. Like, it's exactly what you'd want there. He's gone over 40 in all of them, so potentially a little bit more value if he was to keep his spot. They do have Murray returning, so does that affect him at all? But I do expect that he's going to be that prop going forward. They've played a couple of really good games there against Para and against Titans, with him being the number one or close to number one option in the middle for him. So at 418k, you could definitely go for worse options. If you wanted to straight swap Hughes to someone in the mid rotation, Davvy Moale is not the worst. And if he didn't have that 10 out of 10 in the 12 minutes, I think more people would actually be looking at him. And he's someone that I'm potentially looking at myself if that mid and his kind of level of play suits my team. And yeah, that 58 with the try last week just shows what he can do. And he's hardly missing any tackles in recent history. He's kind of improved that part of his game since he was out of that team they had the buy in round 7, I should say, since he's gotten that bigger role. He's improved his missed tackles there as well. Someone else I'm looking at is Jayden Campbell. I'm going to have to see if he suits my situation. But just speaking to Matt there, it just made it even more clear that now that Tanner Boyd's still in the 18 jersey and Campbell has kept that 6 jersey, they obviously didn't play incredibly well last week. They have the Tigers this week. I think Campbell could go nuts. And you don't want to look at it just as a one-game play, but going forward, he doesn't have to look at playing Panthers. He's got Broncos in like 6 weeks. Brimson will be back by that point. Will he go to 1? There's obviously a few risks around Jayden Campbell, but him goal kicking right now in this team without Tanner Boyd there, yes, he could come in some way, Tanner, but I only think Tanner will come in if there's an injury in that half position to Foran, to be fair, or if Campbell was to be out. So that's the way they're going right now. They're going to trial that, and Campbell looked really, really good with ball in hand. He only kicked the 2 goals, had 1 line break assist, but the rest was in offloads tackle breaks, made 15 tackles, missed 3, not too bad, and then obviously running the footy. So I definitely think that he's someone that could continue with that 44, 45 average that we're seeing from him on a regular basis, whether he's at fullback or at 5'8". The question here, looking at his 5'8 stats, is he only has the 4 games there. One of them a 58-minute effort. He has a 25 in 80 minutes against the Bunnies in that same corresponding game last year, 46-28. Wasn't great for him. He just had the 1 tackle break, no offloads, 3 errors. So it was a really poor game for him. But he's got a 63 in a very similar type of game to one we just saw on the weekend, with 4 tackle breaks and an offload, 170 meters there, 140 kick meters, but with that try obviously as well. So, very similar to that on the weekend. And we can see those types of games from him if he can, reduce the negatives, which in those games there he's had no errors like he did on the weekend, no penalties, and just a very normal amount of missed tackles apart from that effort in round 25 against the Panthers, which it is the Panthers, 40-14. You're going to have some missed tackles there as an edge player. So he's definitely someone that is on my radar at 5'19". The other worry there is obviously his injury history this year. It hasn't been great at all. So he's got 1 game out of the way, but we saw that he got a couple of good games out of the way in previous, and then he got hurt again. So that's something to note with Campbell. And then to Silva, I wanted to finish things off for the players part of this video before I get into the questions. But 250k for him. We have a 0.56 ppm in his time out there, which isn't absolutely ideal at all. So I firstly saw that and I was like, ugh, it's not great. Even if he does play next week, there's a lot of issues and worries around if he does keep his spot. Let's just say he gets 80 minutes this week and he picks up a 45, and does really, really well. And he gets named next week. I can see people buying him next week. But a big worry here with talent, he's obviously very, very young still, right? He's 19 years old and he played games last year. So that's impressive in itself. But he only has 10 games in New South Wales Cup so far, 7 appearances this year. And he's actually kicked some goals as well the last couple of weeks. But what you're looking at here is the defensive efficiency, not great, 85.5%, and that's in New South Wales Cup. So keep an eye on that. His average meters per game is 19. His fantasy points is 23. So it's not great there at all. And let's just have a look at the minutes there that you see. Where did they go? Did I go past them? Oh, yeah, they're in here. Whoop. Gone. All right, we're back. All good. Don't stress, everyone. I know you weren't, but don't stress. He played 71 minutes at prop apparently last week, and then 67 at hooker, and he played interchange games before that. So he finally got the full minutes. They obviously had Simpkin in there for a lot of those games as well to play some good minutes. Didn't look into all the games, but that would have been a few of them. But yeah, tackle numbers weren't great, to be honest with you. If you're looking at those tackles made, he had 19 for 9 in that first game. Yuck. 28 for 5, 33 for 4. And if he's coming up against tougher opposition as a youngster, I do think he's going to miss a lot of tackles. Very different to that of Brennan Hands, who's played a bit more. He's a bit older. These types of things. I think we have to leave Talon De Silva out of our thoughts at the moment. So that's just my general opinion on that. And I think I'll be leaving him and going for potentially a Campbell, right? I've already got Garrick. Could potentially go for one of them. I do think either, but Garrick first would be my first thought. I've just upgraded Collar to Garrick in Supercoach. Had Collar when he got the full back spot, held on to him through his injury, and then got his wonderful 17. Yeah, I'm happy with that sell. AFB or Watson? AFB first, or wait a week. Sorry, it can be AFT, because apparently that's exactly what I want to say, AFT. Salmon and KPP to Aiken and Finu, banking 172k. Yes, but no. I think KPP is a hold. Oh, even app, it goes to app. Yeah, if you can get to him another way, cool. But yeah, other than that, not good. JJ's, hey mate, other than that, good, I should say, for Aiken. Hey mate, mostly playing head-to-head and can afford to go Brayley, Galvin and Atkinson to Yo, Haas and Sharp. Should I lock that in? Whoo, head-to-head. Depending on situation, it's a yes. Hopefully you do listen to this, but you're buying 2 top-tier guns in Yo and Haas and removing mid-range guys. So yes, in a nutshell, yes, as a head-to-head player, if you're in a good position and okay to miss, if you're not worried about missing 16 to 19, if you don't play in those weeks, then yes, 100%. That's the goal in head-to-head, is to try and build to those guns as quickly as possible, and that's a perfect way to do it. Currently thinking of Hughes to Sharp, round 19 wing fullback, and ride the Kohler wave. Have 3 dogs on bye, including Hughes and Galvin out. Yep. I have 12 playing round 16 going without a hook, and 12 in round 19 near the middle. Yeah, lovely. Thinking of Kohler to Whiten. Doesn't feel great, but Whiten covers 16-19. That's the other thing with Whiten. If you need someone in center, then sweet. Should stay in the halves and only one more buy left. Cool. Price at 29. I think you'll average far beyond that. Yep. Yeah, I think he'll be like a 40 average. So Whiten's definitely a guy you can look at. Jay Bradley to James Key tempts me, but can wait a week for sure. Yep. Jamie looking at a gun to RF for run home, head-to-head player, and not concerned with buys. Thanks, Queenslander, for always commenting, and that's why you've got the love heart symbol there. Yo, Carrigan or Aiken are the choices. I do think Aiken has probably the most upside. I'd go in terms of total points for the year, Yo, into Aiken, into Carrigan. I do think with Haas back, Carrigan is less of a top-tier gun, but I'd go Aiken this week. Aiken, if you don't listen to that, all right, Aiken. Would you take Dylan Brown to Connor Watson straight up, have half cover? It's gross, but hold this week. Already had my little rant in the buy, hold, sell. Thanks for checking into that one as well. Amen. Wanting to do Galvin to Aiken this week. 7 trades left after. Already have Wishy, Plath, Weeks, Dillbags, and looking for a keeper center. Yeah, okay, cool. I like it. I'm happy with that. Like, that's a very good upgrade. Like, you're trading a mid-range guy that is going to be helpful for us, but to a guy that's an absolute superstar in Aiken. With 7 trades left, just the one this week, I'm happy with that. Who would you trade out of Hughes and Johnson? Hughes first. We already spoke about that with SJ and his break even, and they're looking to use Tamari Martin a bit in Web. Thanks to one of the guys in the comments came out and said that Webster was talking about Tamari Martin being used a little bit more given how well he's been playing. So I think that'll hurt Johnson just a little bit. Well, I was going to share... Oh, here it is. So for the next comment, I was going to share the ball with Martin a lot more. Attacking stats for Johnson will go down. Potentially, they might not. But do thank you, Joel, for popping that in. And whoever his test he's replying to end up removing his message after he found out that Webby was talking about the above things. Any updates on Jaden Sullivan injury? Could dip in Fawn last... in for one? Maybe in for one last cash cow to Silver. You could. But yeah, maybe after my thoughts there, mate, that you'll end up not doing that. Maybe not. Definitely a punt, but I don't know if it's the one I want to take there. Probably not worth getting the extra player just for that reason. I wish I can go Salmon to Aiken, but I'm 3K short. That is so sad. I'm so sorry. On that one, would you trade Kohler before Armstrong? Armstrong first. I think Kohler's a hold. He's got a fairly nice run coming up. Watson or AFB? We spoke about that one, I think. Either one. AFB first, I think. Garrick or Campbell? I think we spoke about that. Garrick first. And then Campbell. Too late for Cole? Yes. With, unfortunately, round 16 and round 19 buy, I just don't think it's worth it at the price. Like, he'll keep scoring well, but yeah, it's a hard one. Missed the boat, unfortunately. He's going Sam Hughes and Armstrong to Blore and Moali. Good. Yes, but not Blore. I like the Moali one. Yes, but not Blore. Pick another option at the price. I think that would be the way to go. Sam could be a hold, as Denny said, but yeah, so he's going to average like 30 or something. And how many trades remaining would you say Dylan Brown's a seller? Just don't sell at all. If you want, like, I think 12 plus you can sell. But again, this is all in my opinion, right? I just don't think he's a sell. What happened to Galvin? Yeah, his hand. So thank you, Max, for that one. AJ. Hey, Jay, I'm making 2 trades this week. Atkinson plus Hughes to preferably a half and a wing fullback. Any suggestions? Hughes and Sharp. That works. Not enough cash. Yeah, fair. What do you got? 915 for Atkinson and Sam Hughes. That's a similar situation to me, to be fair. 915, hey? Well, that means you have no cash in the bank. I do think David Mwale works, and then maybe Campbell? Wishart? What's Wishart cost? Where is he? 503. Could you do him and Mwale? That's a half and wing fullback. Obviously, that doesn't really help you, does it? Oh, you said half and wing fullback. Yeah, that might work. We can go one of those halves with Sharp, if you want to go for that as well. If you can't get Hughes. Yeah. Yeah, it obviously doesn't work with the mid, but yeah, a few options. Jaden Bradley sell, I think hold reluctantly. Jamie's the best player to get under 420k. Position of Madam Wale. Yeah, there's a few good options there, to be fair. So let's rank them. It's probably is Moale, hey. Moale. Hands still solid. hands, White and Sharp. They're probably their main options, I think. Zaki. Gavin to sell. I think holds. Can sell though. Sharp a buy now. Armstrong's on the outer. Yep, for sure. Definitely solid. Also, no Cook has moved to center again. Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, so maybe you avoid him. That's fair. Preston McGee back in 2 to 3 weeks. He's a hold. Yep. That works. They also have a buy in round 19, so that's, yeah, slightly annoying, but he is a gun. Zach made 2,000 ranks with a 9-10, hoping to go close to top 1K this week. Good stuff. Is Sharp a buy? Yes. In hold trades mode, don't want to trade until round 18, 19 unless I'm forced to, but damn, I attempted to trade out Kohler and a few others, looking you, Blore, and Brown. Yeah, for sure. And the last one there, do you think Curran to Aiken is a worthwhile trade in Supercoach for numbers in 19? I do have a full squad this week. Solid, but maybe hold, I think, at that one. So, all right, we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for being here. The questions and answers, the top 1,000, wherever we're at, points-wise, thank you for being here, and we'll get into the video with Scoop. Tonight, we'll be doing it. We'll see you with that one tomorrow.